Hey guys, so welcome back. And if you're just seeing this for the first time, you're in the wrong place. This is part 2 of my interview with Keithro, Mr. Keith. And if you want to hear the first part, definitely check back on that first video. It should be on our channel. And if you're here because of you already heard the first one or saw the first one, great. Congratulations, you made it to the second part. And I hope that you enjoy this part as much as we did. We had a great time. Without further ado, let's continue the interview. That aspect.
Actually, one thing I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
I think having like a retail store is a great way for non-carry people to because in Australia, there's no physical like EDC or like bag store here that sells the stuff away, like the carry stuff, the brands and all that. And it's hard to explain to non-carry people all the different intricacies of all the materials and things. And when I went to Hong Kong, there was a retail store called like Suburban Fever.
Yes. Fever Guy. Hey, I love that place.
Yeah. When I went, oh my God, there's like just so many cool bags and things.
Yeah.
And there's something exciting about seeing a physical product rather than just hearing things online and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a advantage of having a retail store compared to just being online and just talking about bags.
Yeah. If there was one thing that I really enjoyed was from my previous business was the interaction between us and customers. Just being able to see it's like really specific. Just being able to see two things. Just being able to see the people who know about the product and are geeking out about it or like really be into it. And the second one, really, the main thing for me is just people who don't know about it, but who like touch it and feel it for the first time. They're totally into it. This is like a bad example, but it's like, I don't know, cancel. It's like if you're gay, but you don't know it. It's like these guys who don't know anything about the carry space, they don't know anything about these bags. They come in, like, oh, this is so cool, right? And then I see that, and then I go in, and I'm like, those are the people I really like to pull in and say, hey, check it out. It's waterproof. It's got all these compartments, organization. And the more I explain, the more their eyes glow and like kind of like really into it. And then to be able to showcase and explain the brands that we carry. And then because these brands we also curate too. So we pick ourselves. So other people who like the same stuff that we do, it's a great feeling.
So in the back of your mind, you just keep an eye on like the customer journey of like not knowing anything and showing them. They're like, "Oh, you're sparking curiosity," and then they're like learning more, and then at one point they're like really deep into it.
I'm gay.
But do they buy the bags, or do they like, okay, I need to do more research?
There are a few who it just depends. So I think whether they buy or not, it depends on their financial situation. You know, some people they hear about it, they don't ask about the price, they go in all in, or they do hear about the price, but okay, whatever you just explained matches the quality of the product that I'm looking at, matches what I think the value of it. So then let me just pick it up because I don't want to pay shipping. Whatever the reason, I don't want to wait. So yeah.
Yeah, hearing like the retail side of things is always interesting, especially in the carry world, because it's just you don't hear too many stories. It's usually just everything.
Yeah, it's online, so impersonal. That's why we want retail. That's why I want to eventually find retail so badly. It's because I just love that interaction with people, and I think I'm at heart like a people pleaser. I like people, and I like making friends and communication, conversation, even if they're awkward. It's just something that really sparks joy for me. And then the fact that I can pair that with my other passion, which is like carry or like business in general, it just comes full circle, and it's like really great. Yeah.
It's always good combining two kind of like interests and strengths together.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know you. Okay, so we spoke about your relationships with the brands and how that experience was. Like recently, there's a few things. Recently, you've been on an interview with a podcast interview with Bo Mono. You've also been listed on like the same page as Accessorize Me. Or did you not know that?
No,
I think it was like for Carryology or something. It was like a list of content creators.
I'm on Carryology.
I think so. I saw
what?
it was somewhere. Hold on. What did I write here? It was,
Wow, this is
yeah.
news to me.
You were on, oh no, not Carryology. You were on the same page for Alpaca or Able Carry or something like a bag brand, but you're listed content creator or something like that. Do you know about that? Because my next question is, how do you feel about that? But if you don't know, then
I have no idea. I think, I'm not sure. It might have been either Alpaca or Able Carry.
yeah, I think, yeah.
It was one or the other. Having my face on there?
Like with the other big carry, review, YouTube, whatever content creators, you're like part of them now.
I don't know, man. At the moment, I still feel like I'm a small potato. The whole world just kind of just navigating with my. I don't know. It's a bizarre feeling, I guess. In the beginning, you look up to all these creators like Exercise Me, Ron Kwok, and Best MEDC, and it's been quite a journey, like making friends with them and like following. Yeah, it's just having that community of creators that you looked up to, kind of like a childhood hero, and you like meet them. It's like, oh man, I'm in the same space as you guys, doing the same thing. Notice me, senpai.
Yeah, especially me, senpai. I think
just nobody.
Oh no, you're somebody. You made it. You're on the list. I think it's something. Yeah. There's that feeling of, just notice me, just remember me, like that Disney movie. Remember me.
But I think it's cool to have, I guess, my face on a brand or something, especially if it's like a brand I love working with. Fine with that. It's like we're both good. I'm featured on there. They can bring their audience to me. It's like a win-win for both of us.
Yeah.
I think maybe next year or in the future, it's when things might get tricky when I'm talking about like brand exclusivity, not featuring on other brands and non-compete. And I think that's a side I'm still trying to navigate because I love working with different brands. That's what I've been doing like the past 3 years. Just making friends and talking to people and seeing what they're doing and building all these relationships. And then never in my mind did you start talking about like exclusivity, and it's like,
that makes
different,
that kind of
different world.
Yeah, that kind of makes me sad. Like we've actually ran into trouble with exclusivity.
Exclusivity.
Peter Pay Piper. And we're actually, because for a third party retailer, it's very important to be able to pick freely. But some people I think some brands just want you, like, at the end of the day, it's business, right? And you have to protect yourself. So I think some brands feel certain ways about other brands. And like for me, I guess I understand because I'm in business as well. You want to be able to protect your brand, your identity. It's hard because I want to work with everyone, and I am a people pleaser, like I mentioned. So I don't like to talk about the negativities. I just want to work with people and just have a good time. But it's something that's very delicate to touch because you don't want to, you don't want to step on any shoes. Like, this is something that we shouldn't be talking about, like the details, but like, how do you feel? Is that something that you don't want to deal with, or is that something you're considering to, I don't even know, to continue relationships? Like, is this something you're considering?
I'm very new to this whole side of things. It's like, oh, okay, this is very fresh. I'm not still navigating my way and kind of understanding, like, okay, if I work with this brand and they don't want me to do this, what is like the fine line between like what's conflict of interest and what's possible and I can do, and like what about like different industry like watches and like bags? Is there like a correlation of like conflict of interest? Like, what if this brand does something that's like similar to what you're doing? And, it's just a very big headache, and I'm still trying to process everything. Okay, well,
it's also
in black and white.
It's also like very touchy subject because I think in the world of design, there's no such thing as like an original design. I think it's like all about everyone just copies each other, and then the key is how different can you make that copy.
Well,
So
there are some carry brands out there who are
yeah,
not naming names.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Those guys do it wrong. Yes.
I think for me, it's like if someone's, let me just use the word inspire. I try to pick out 3 things that are different. I think that's a general
Okay.
rule of thumb, like 3 things different from the original, whether it's on like material or like layout or organization or like use case. I try to picture 3 different changes, and okay, it's different enough from the original. It's like it's not like a direct copy where they just copied the zips and the whole layout of the organization and placements of things and like branding of the logo. So yeah, just trying to pick out 3 things, and the minimum of 3 things. If there's more, it's like okay, it passes my book on it. It's not like.
No, I have here's a scenario for you. What if?
What about you?
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's tough. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I think you had this conversation. Like Bo likes to talk about this as well. It's on the podcast as well. But it's hard, I think, because you always encounter like the chicken and the egg. Is this guy, did he really think of this first, or is there some other brand out there that I don't actually know about, but they're the one who did it first? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so here's the thing: like, if a brand contacted you, right, and then this is like a real life example because it happened to me, but they contacted you, right, and then the exterior looks exactly like another brand, okay, with the product tag or the brand tag, with the shape, the design, the zipper placements, but the inside is like different. Would you do something? Would you do a video of that? Would you consider it, or would you pass?
I think at that point, I'm going to look at the entire collection.
Okay.
If it's just a one-off, I still need to do some background check and do a bit of Googling and look at the founders and see their philosophy of design and like what makes it different, even though it looks similar. Because if the entire catalog of products look fishy, then I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
If it's like a one-off and maybe they're experimenting like a new direction or like a new product line, you know what? We'll maybe give this a go and see where it takes off. But if the second one you come out in that product line looks something similar, then we have a problem. Yeah, it's
I feel like sometimes the worst thing is like these guys are really good at marketing, but if you look at their product line, they don't copy just from one bag brand. They have, let's say, the sling is heavily inspired by another brand. Backpack heavily inspired by a different brand, and they pull, but it looks very similar. And the worst thing, their Instagram is like blown up, and they have so many orders. That hurts me the most because like the OG ones spend so much time and effort designing the product, and then these guys are becoming, I guess, more famous because they spend more time on marketing compared to these guys who spend more time on R&D and making a good product.
Yeah, I think it's really just down to the people who appreciate the original designs and be like, support them.
That's true. Some people don't care.
But I think for me, it's like, you know what? These people deserve the recognition for what they put out.
Yeah.
In the beginning. It's like, all these people just adapted the design. If it's better, then, you know what? Props to them for making the design better. But if it's worse, then, yeah, I think
we have a big problem. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, it's like, what are your thoughts now? Like, for example, like a really well-designed product with like really good materials and stuff, and then some other brand comes out with a similar design, but made it more accessible with cheaper materials. What's your take on that? Rather than design, it's just materials cheaper. Because
that is tough. Do I think it's okay, or would I stock?
I don't know. What are your thoughts? Rather than like design different, like a bit of interior changes and swap. What if like another brand just came up with it like 50% cheaper?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you like a few different viewpoints. I'm not into that thing. If I just feel like if you have the budget to create a whole line of product and it's based on someone else's, like another brand's design, like regardless how much cheaper the material is, whatever, I don't think you should have, I think you should have at least done some kind of design change in some way to a certain extent to make yours different. From a retailer's point of view, I think that just depends on the owner. Like some shops see, because for us, like the price point of a lot of the products that we sell are pretty high. And then that's just our thing. That's what we focus on, the high price but high quality. But some brands, or some companies or shops, they want like a collection of a well-rounded, you have some cheaper products here, some more expensive products there. So for them, maybe that's good. That's a good alternative to the more expensive bags or for their customers. So for the business, a little bit more nuanced. It depends on basically what their business model is and how they kind of market themselves and what they sell.
Could you
so
say
it's a little
branding?
bit more different there. Yeah, exactly.
Just branding.
But for me, I think I wouldn't buy it, and two, I wouldn't sell it from UrbanCred in my point of view. Yeah.
I guess with your kind of background and inputs, like, you know what? If I'm not going to buy it, then I don't want to sell this to my customer.
Because I think for UrbanCred is like a little bit of an extension of myself, and as a result, I see my customers as like a slight extension of my style and UrbanCred's like aesthetic. People who shop there. So I just maybe it's wrong to assume, but I assume that my customers are looking for high quality products, the highest quality, and if I sold something like a lower quality but like a similar design, like a concept, then I think that it would be doing a disservice to our customers, but also when they get it and then they get disappointed for some reason, like it breaks or something, they're gonna assume all the other brands on my shop is like garbage. And I don't want to do that for my other brands. So that we have a certain like quality control for what we pick bags, blah blah blah.
Do you feel like you have a responsibility as like a representative for other brands in your retail?
I don't think responsibility is the right word. I don't feel I have big responsibility to them. I feel like I have a big responsibility for my own business. Because I think like the brands that we offer, brands themselves, they have their own loyal fan base. So they'll be okay in the long term. But like for us, if we screw up like a product choice or something that breaks on them or falls apart, it's up to us to maintain that relationship or recover that relationship. And then they will assume all the bags on our shop is garbage. But that doesn't directly affect them in a way. It more affects us rather than them because they have their own customer base. Our customer base, does that make sense? Yeah.
So you're more at a loss than like the brands themselves.
Yeah, because
from like the customer's kind of point of view.
Yeah, and then if they wanted to, let's say they get off our website. Let's say we sell like beta carry. Opposed to able carry, and then beta carry sucks, but they sell able carry, that must suck too. We're a shopper somewhere else, and then they go on YouTube, they find Kifro, and then he's doing like this review of this able carry. Like, oh, this is not a bad bag at all. And they go to able carry to buy. That's what would happen. Whereas, yeah. So, what is your preferred travel bag and your equipment that you like to take with you?
Oh. I feel like we had this conversation last time. You know what? It hasn't really changed that much.
Okay.
I think, backpack hasn't changed. I'm still really enjoying the Able Carry Daybreaker 2. I think, and that thing's just been glued on my back for the past 9 months.
It's on you right now.
Yeah,
it's glued to your back right now.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, there are a few advantages of it, even though it's like a small bag per se. Like it's light, and when I go on carry-on, your weight restrictions. And I go on my laptop and camera gear, and it's like the lighter the bag, the better. Even though I need to sacrifice protection and padding, which is one trade-off to make. But yeah, that's probably be my carry-on / day bag, and like walking around the city exploring.
And you're not worried about like the safety of your equipment and stuff like that? 'Cause it's pretty light. Yeah.
It's very thin. Laptop, usually just use like a little laptop sleeve. Just give that 1 millimeter protection.
Keith is living on the edge. Oh, what a risk taker.
And then for my camera gear, I have this low pro camera insert, which like 3 millimeters of padding.
Okay.
I'd like bringing more camera gear is more of a priority than
that's
protection.
Okay. I see.
Like on the plane, you chuck it on the overhead cabin. It's probably not going to move around too much. I'm not going to like maybe get crushed by a suitcase.
Fingers crossed.
And sometimes in like domestic travel, if I do one bag travel, I'll chuck that bag under the seat because it kind of fits. So that's still safe. And I'm like, what? I'll do that under my own risk, and it does. It works. It saves weight, and I get to bring more, which is
this
advantage.
This scenario sounds like a waiting for something to happen, and I'm going to switch to something safer, like a pelican or something.
Yeah, pelican. It's worked so far.
Yeah,
hasn't think bad has happened yet.
Okay, yeah, finger crossed, knock on wood.
But I guess for slings, I went for a smaller sling these days. The Alpaca Sling Nano. I realized having a bigger sling with the backpack just didn't really work for my setup, especially if I don't need like an iPad mini. It just usually sits in the backpack. Having a smaller sling with just like a passport, your phone, and pen, and just your essentials nearby. Yeah, just backpack and sling at the moment, plus a suitcase if I'm doing like long distance travel. And if
do you check in?
I check in the suitcase,
luggage.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, carry on with the backpack. Okay. I mean, if it's a longer trip, then that's when things might change around. I might chuck the Daybreaker 2 into the suitcase and bring a bigger 30-liter. And I don't know, at the moment I'm testing a couple. The simple duffel backpack, I forget what it's called. And then, or the Able Carry Max, the bigger brother, the 30-liter. Yeah, I brought that from Hong Kong as a carrier, and that worked perfectly as well. Even though it was just one laptop in the laptop slot, and then one camera cube with all my camera gear, and then all the pockets and everything was just empty. Yeah. So yeah, that would be like the second setup, just a bigger, like a 30-liter carrier.
Yeah, I've tested the Able Carry Max. I do feel like the Able Carry Max, it's a great bag, actually, honestly, for travel. The organization and the thought put into is great. But I do feel like I think the space, you get less space compared to clamshell, like just the empty clamshell bag, right? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, there are like, it's because of that like internal water bottle pocket holder that it eats up a bit of space. So you have like less space in the main compartment. Yeah. But for the weight, if you don't carry enough, it's like you're carrying the bag rather than carrying the stuff inside. Once you overload it, it's like, okay, I'm actually carrying my stuff, not the bag. But it's like that. It's like for all the heavy bags, it's like that tipping point. It's like, it's worth carrying it for the stuff inside, or it's like, you know what? I'm just carrying this heavy bag for no reason. Balance. Yeah, it is. What about you? What's your kind of travel setup at the moment?
Gosh. Tough to say because I saw these bags. Right now, my daily carry is like the X Type by Codabel. Do you know? It's a smaller bag, and I have a 14-inch laptop, so I just put it in it. It just holds the perfect amount of things that I need, like my water bottle, headphones, and maybe some other accessories that I can switch up, like my Steam Deck, or if I want to switch that for like a keyboard or whatever. That's what I use for everyday carry. For my travel, I use what do I use? Last time I used the Max to travel, I think. Yeah, and then I liked Evergood's CTB25 or something like that. It's the names are so confusing. It's kind of like Dan Mitsuda's. It's like Articles 37. It's, to me, like I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, especially with numbers.
Yeah.
It's too confusing.
So confusing. Yeah, it's usually the Evergood's bags for, and then the Max. And it just depends on what kind of style of bag I need. If I need more organization, like for small things, I use the Max. If I just need to fit a ton of like packing cubes and stuff, I use the Evergoods. And everyday stuff, I use the X-Type from Coda Bell. And then for slings, as of now, I use the Wonton Craft. I picked up one of their slings from their sale a long time ago. So that's the one I use this as of now. Yep, those are the ones I use this now. Yeah.
Wotan or wonton craft?
Wonton. I keep saying wonton because I love wontons, but I posted it in like a forum and then they shat on me for saying it wrong. It's awful because I even went to last time I went to Taiwan, I went to go check out the shop and talk to the owner. Yeah, so that was horrible. But I think forever it's forever wonton craft for me for some reason. But yeah, they make awesome stuff. I actually went to talk to them in hopes of stocking their stuff. They said maybe next time. We may not be big enough, or maybe they're not ready yet to expand to the West, but one day, hopefully we can stock their stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. They're getting more popular these days compared to like a couple of years ago. And yeah, they make all sorts of, I think, like canvas and some like leather. Well,
canvas leather, yeah.
I've seen some of their like pilot's bag, camera bag as well. Those are pretty cool.
They do have pretty
like
cool.
A very like rustic kind of military design.
Rustic military, like outdoor, indoor. It's like a good mix. Like a little bit of both.
It's like you wear like a fun canvas kind of vibe.
I feel like it's like an Asian huckberry kind of vibe.
It is.
A little bit like that,
Yes. From Taiwan. There are many like EDC brands from Taiwan, I don't think, like from the top of my head.
Okay, so yeah, you spoke for quite a bit. I ask a few more questions. What do you, or your role in collaborations, your role with like other brands is pretty obvious. You are like a reviewer, kind of like showcase products and stuff like that. What are your future plans? Like we spoke briefly because you have like interactions with different perspectives and different industry. What do you in 10 years, this is like an interview, in 10 years, like what do you hope to like achieve like with your personal brand?
I talked about it earlier. I think probably, as much as I want to work with a lot of brands and whatnot, I might be maybe not working on like some, rather like doing product reviews, you know, like doing like, I don't know, taking videos of and photos of things, maybe get more involved in the background, like understanding and like how people do Kickstarter campaigns. Or,
of course.
Like product design, prototyping. I know all the marketing stuff. Maybe
it's just because you're interested, nothing else. There's no other.
Just interested. I feel like I love the whole everyday carry space. I don't see myself like. It's so strange to say this. I don't mind doing product reviews, but I don't see myself doing it for like the next 20 years.
Okay. You're like
but
80.
I see myself.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel.
But I see myself being in the space for more than like 20 years. Yeah, this is like my interest and passion. So in order to do that long term, it's like being that trip to Hong Kong, I mentioned, Jin's like, I want to learn all the other stuff that I haven't experienced, like business and manufacturing and all that, marketing, building a brand and all that kind of side of things. That's stuff I want to learn. Like, just future-proofing myself so I could stay here for another, I don't know how many years, for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Whether it's being in the forefront as a face and doing reviews and product walkthroughs, or chilling in the back and cooking new designs. And It's just, I think future plans is, I know I want to be in this space. Just going to maximize and learn as many skills I can to make sure I stay in this.
All right, let me translate this for you guys who's listening. Keith here just wants to make, he wants to learn how to make a bag with his face on it. That's what it is. Yeah. The Keith backpack.
Maybe that's the end goal. Start my own brand with my face on the left.
Just like the backpack is just your face. And then people can just carry it around.
You can't unsee it. Maybe that.
I'd rock that. I would just put that in the pop-up shop. Just like a whole roll of your face. And it could be different facial expressions. Oh, this is good. It's going to take off.
It's a limited edition collab.
Collab.
One of 100 rare.
Yeah.
You better scalp it and resell it on eBay to.
Yeah. We're going to sell it and then we're going to leave one in stock at the shop and Keith is just going to buy it back and then scalp it on eBay.
I'll be pulling like 50s and that's how I make money. Reselling my one of ones. What about your interview question? What are your 10 years besides the coffee shop and everything?
Yeah, I think UrbanCred originally started off as a retail, like obviously for sales and stuff online, but people don't know this but the original, this still is the concept of UrbanCred. We eventually wanted to, from the get-go, I was very interested in video content, just like creating this kind of storytelling. And I think it goes back to what I mentioned earlier with the podcast. Sorry. Just learning about people, learning about the brands themselves and the stories behind it. And just that really interests me. And I'm personally really interested and invest in people. So when we do business actually too, we like to invest in people. We like to connect with people. Like business wise, if possible, we'd like to talk to their owners, and then work with people, maintain relationships, because that's just what interests me. And I think moving forward in 10 years, I think we want to carry that into the video space, create content around that, create entertaining content. And even the other part of it is like retail, but finding a way to use retail in a way to connect people together, bring people together. And the unfortunate thing is that in order to do that, we need to make money to pursue those kind of goals. And that's the toughest part, just to making more and more money to continue what we want to do. In simple terms, I think 10 years, we want to eventually create a space where we can, collaborate with brands, but also bring people together, have people to talk, chat, have fun, meet new people, but also creating content, creating community. That's something that appeals to me.
Yeah, I noticed you've been uploading these really well-shot
terrible
videos lately.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Especially on Instagram. You guys been posting product showcases and everything.
Yeah, we're trying to get there, trying to catch up to you.
Would you ever do more product reviews and things on your YouTube?
I think the YouTube channel is in a state where we're still experimenting and trying to figure things out. And I've come from a business background, so a lot of photography and videography terms are a little foreign to me. So it's taking me a little bit more time to figure things out, especially post-production and editing, things like that. And just because I'm so busy with the business, it's hard for me to set aside time to do it or learn about it. But I think 2024, what we're doing is there's always a fear of hiring someone and not giving them enough stuff to do for what we're paying them. But I think for 2024, we're going to just take the lunch. And that pop-up has given me a little bit more experience working with employees just because we're hiring people for that. So I think I found some people that really are good people to work with. And I think, another thing for 10 years to be able to find like-minded people to work with, just because, again, I'm a people person. I like people, talking to people, meeting people, working with people, to finding a team of people who I could hang out, go watch a movie, have some lunch, meet their families, to working together, crunch time and holiday season, pushing stuff out and working together. That's kind of like something that I'm also really, really excited and really, really want to happen. So 2024, I'm going to bring some people on. I'm going to throw money basically at them and at marketing and video and just see. Nervous me senpai, basically.
I'm literally join me.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what we're planning.
Man, like 10 years is a long time.
Yeah.
So much can happen.
Things change.
In 10 years. Yeah, it's exciting. It's very interesting to your kind of like thought process, how you're gonna grow this UrbanCred, especially now that everything's on video. Now that you can look back.
Look back at terrible stuff that we produce.
I think it's I think that's one thing about like doing video content. It's kind of like you have record of it, and you can look back and be like, you know what, this was the era we started hustling and started growing as a person.
It's true.
You can always look back, even though it's increase and looking back at it, it's like, you know what, it was a good journey.
Yeah, I spoke with Bo, and he was like, his first video was like, he always cringes at his first video. So it's got to be, for the people out there, when you just got to, there's something to just starting, and there's something to, there's a right moment, defining moment in time where it goes hand in hand.
So what's the key takeaway from today's podcast, Ed?
I think key takeaway, right, for us is just, for me, it's always like that. For me, it's just the defining moment in life. That's the most important thing to me. Just like, when is that the next defining moment? When will that next push you to that next step? And it's important to listen to that kind of inside voice and during that moment in time to push you, and then just take that and then go forward. What about you? What do you think? What's your takeaway?
I agree with you as well.
Okay.
But what about like when, you know, your friends and family like, no, don't tell us.
That's tough. Yeah. I think you just need to talk to more people. I think it's more to talk to outside your circle. Yeah, I think you need to talk to outside your circle. If you're able to talk to people in the industry, or just like other people who are interested in the same stuff, like check forums or talk to old teachers, or like some kind of just like outside your circle, that it would open like more, like, just because like you were able to go to Able Carry, go overseas, get that perspective, insight, and then it just opens up like new like points of views. For me, I had the experience of 10 years of doing retail. So that experience opened up, okay, I could probably do this even if other people say no. But I mean, or the worst case scenario, just do a pros and cons list. And then try not to be, oh man, I hate SWOT analysis. Just pros and cons, guys. Just keep it very simple. Don't think too hard about it. Just do pros and cons, but try not to be biased. And then just be honest with yourself, man. How about you?
What about looking at the cons list and looking at it just makes you sad and you just spiral into depression?
You might have to readjust your plan, or readjust your plan to cover your weaknesses. Or you know what? Fuck it, just do it, and then see what happens. Yeah. Honestly, just
probably the best.
Because analysis and the pros and cons. The cons outweigh the pros for UrbanCred. Honestly, they're different. But it's like, you know what? This is depressing, and I think that the one key takeaway is like, if you don't do it, you're gonna regret it. Like, it's gonna be in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, I should have done that, or I could have done that, or I could have done that. If you did it and you failed, at least you can say you did it, and then you've just another experience. And then like, you can, let's say if that fails, you can build off it to do something else. And that's kind of what I did with my earlier business. I did like for 8 years, and then that didn't do as well as I hoped. And I used that experience to apply to my current business, what I learned. And then I'm still learning new things while doing this business. Fuck it. Just fuck it and do it.
And just do it, and then don't worry about it. Don't look back.
Yeah.
When maybe in a few years' time, you can look back and start
True, very true.
Just don't worry about the cringe. Just go.
Yeah, it's like it's like those moments in time where it's so embarrassing. Like you asked this girl out, but like you said it in such a weird way, and then she rejected you, and it will always trigger your mind in the most cringe-worthy way. That's just gonna happen, and then you just gotta move on. That's all.
Thank you for the wise words.
Yeah, for the better. What about you, man? Is there any doing maybe YouTube?
Key takeaways.
Or even just start an Instagram or TikTok or any kind of long form stuff. What is, and they're not sure. They're in that like incubator mode. They're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll know. Like, what do you think they should do? Start.
I think, at the moment, I'm always talking to a few people who want to jump on YouTube and do stuff, but they've been doing Instagram. They're like, I kind of want to do YouTube, but like, I'm really kind of like concerned about like besides all the technical things, like camera, lighting, sound. It's like, what's like the strategy? How do I get into it? And I think back to hopping on your kind of train of thought, it's like for me, I think finding someone or speaking to someone who's ahead of you is always a good thing. Right? It doesn't matter if they're like, maybe like a couple months or 100 subscribers ahead of you, whatever.
Yeah.
I think just finding someone ahead of you who maybe if they're learning with you is also a good thing. They're discovering kind of like new trends and things that we should implement, and you bounce off each other. And I think, just having someone ahead of you is always a good thing, especially when you run into any issues or concerns, and you can ask them for opinion, maybe like a brand deal. It's like, this brand's asking for this and this, but I don't want to do it. How do I turn it down? I think, just having someone who's doing what you want to do, but just ahead of you is like the perfect candidate.
Wow. Yeah, I think building off of that, I think that's super, actually, that's great. That's great like advice. That's a great point, because I actually have someone who's ahead of me. I talk to not a lot, but the conversations we do have make such a big impact. Like I shout out Brandon. He's one of the designers at Brevit. Have you heard of that brand?
Yeah, the camera back.
Yeah. So they're based out in New York, in Brooklyn, and then we met like way back. And then he came by the pop up and was really supportive. Picked up a few bags and we spoke. And then just like there's this one conversation I had with him where we spoke in depth about some of the kind of ideas that I wanted to do. And as a business owner, I don't have ADHD, but there's always so many things I want to try and I want to experiment with. But talking to him let me narrow and focus down on what I need to do, instead of trying things that doesn't make sense at that point in time. And just having that insight from someone who's been there and done that is so important. And some people say that, then you should go find a mentor, but it's super important to find someone who's in the same space as you rather than a random mentor on the internet. Like I had a mentor who's vice president of Macy's. We met and then we spoke, and then he would help, and he helped in like aspects like of general business stuff, but I got more value, and he was great. He was helpful. And I'm not saying that mentors are bad if they're like from a different sector, but just when I spoke with Brandon, he was like it just a lot more relevant information, a lot more relevant advice. And it just really helped guided what my next steps were. So yeah, I mean, that's really good advice.
Yeah. I think from me speaking to like creators who want to jump on YouTube, I guess I'm acting the mentor that I wish I had, like advice and making sure I didn't fall into the same mistakes I did. Or they don't fall into the same mistakes. And I know it's a very kind of rewarding experience as well. Like just giving ideas and suggestions and teaching people.
Yeah, you don't know until you actually start doing it, how rewarding it is. Sometimes like I look at mentors, I'm like, oh, why do they do that? But once you start doing it yourself, in some capacity, it could be small or large, then you start realizing it feels good to be able to help other people along the journey. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone should head on over to my website and download my content creator course.
Yeah. And
For
then-
$4, you can use my discount code.
on Skillshare or Udemy. Yeah.
No, them on my website.
Oh, yeah, your website.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not giving a revenue split with.
Everyone's like looking up. Oh, I'm totally into this. Keith, where is it?
I understand like the rewarding side of teaching.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right.
I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
We prior to this interview, we're talking. So I interviewed Keith previously. It was a terrible interview. We did it again this time, and I want to say this one was much better than the previously. But the previous was 2 hours, and this was also 2 hours. So I'm not sure how this is gonna be cut, because we talked about a lot of stuff, and I might have to split into two episodes, like I did with Boas Mono. Maybe I'll just do that. But thank you for coming on. It was wild that we spoke about. It was I love these conversations we had. It was great. We talked about so much stuff, and I just appreciate. Thank you for taking. I know you're so busy because you just came back and you have all these brand deals, and like you're famous. You're talking to Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, and you're like we were working with like all these big brands, Chanel and Abel Carey and Alpaca. So you're busy. But I appreciate you for taking this time to come on.
Thanks for having me, man. And I noticed that you've done more planning this time around. And it's worked flawlessly today.
5 minutes more.
You're improving, man. You're improving. The next podcast, you gotta, instead of 5 minutes of planning, you gotta do 6 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. 6 minutes, and then maybe it won't be 2 hours long. But
and rather than like getting a copy, you can do both at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, we had this joke for you guys who don't know what the heck we're talking about. It's just I just basically woke up and I had to make a choice between prepping a tiny bit more or like making myself a cup of coffee. So I did the cup of coffee because I needed to wake up. Yes, maybe I'll do both next time. All right, Keith. This is Keith. This is a Keithfro, Keith, aka Keithfro. He's on Instagram and YouTube. And he's doing a lot of stuff, awesome stuff on YouTube. I love his content. It's such high quality. And his photos are great. He's doing a lot of collabs with a lot of brands in terms of doing their video work and stuff like that. So definitely keep tabs on him. He's doing awesome stuff. And through our conversation, he has a lot in store for 2024 and in the future, maybe in 10 years or sooner.
Yeah.
Definitely keep tabs on him. If people want to find you, Keith, where should they go?
Instagram and YouTube. I think those are the two main places you can.
They're both at Keithfro, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, great. And then he's again also be sure to hit that. Be sure to hit that and subscribe button. What was it? Smash that subscribe for more
comment and share.
Yeah, for more content. Yeah, so definitely subscribe to both of us because we're going to shoot more awesome, better produced content in the future. And I hope to see you guys again. Yeah. Bye. See you later. Bye. Where's the stop button? Oh, here we go.